What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eve and in this video we are doing a full face of Catrice makeup. So if I use a product that is not Catrice, I will make sure to let you know. I used most of these products a few times, so I have a good opinion if I would repurchase this or if I would pass on it. Now, I've already done my skincare, so everything is set. I let my skincare set for 30 minutes, but before I jump in on the primer, if you like this video, please help me out. Hit like, subscribe, comment down below and hit that bell so you'll be notified. Alright, so for primer, I use the Clean ID and it's supposed to be an instant bright primer and it's supposed to be suitable for sensitive skin. So I'm going to go ahead and show this to you. So I use this, I let it set for 10 minutes, and then underneath the eyes I use something that is not Catrice. This is the Nemia Cooling Eye Balm. They didn't have an under eye primer, so I went with this because I know I love it and my concealer has been looking amazing. So I want the same thing to happen with the Catrice concealer. Alright, and I did prep my eyes for eyeshadow with the Viseart eyeshadow primer as well. Now I'm going to jump in with, no matter what my routine is, I always add this before I do my foundation. It's the Coola and it's the mineral sunscreen. If you're not sure why I use that, watch any of my other videos and I will explain it. All right. Now I've used this quite a few times, at least 20 times. It is amazing. This is the Catrice True Skin and it's a hydrating foundation. It has hyaluronic acid and it's long wear. Show that to you. And I'm trying to see it's in neutral sand. And I'm using the Catrice foundation brush. I'll go ahead and show you the packaging. They have one for powder and one for cream. I have both. So this is the triangle brush by Catrice. And it has a little divot for you to put your foundation in. I'll go ahead and get it close so you can see. I'm not going to do it that way. I have it on my glass palette and I'm going to use it that way. All right. Now I'm using a blender that is not by Catrice. It's by Real Techniques. All right. And what I like to do is I like to use the same brush, so I'm only washing one cream brush. So I don't have a whole bunch of brushes I'm washing. So if I can, I try to stick with one. Now I'm going to go in with the concealer. This is the True Skin High Color Concealer. This is a very, very nice concealer. I like it a lot. It's a little light for me. I like to go with the same shade as my foundation. I'm putting a little more on than normal. And I'll explain in a minute why. All right, so the reason why I'm putting on a little more is I'm trying a lash thickening serum, and it's the Grande Lash, and I've been using it for about a week. Thank goodness for my Lumify, because my eyes were really red because of using that, and I have some redness underneath my eyes, so I want to conceal that, and this concealer has been helping. And another reason why I like to use concealer, not lighter, is I don't feel the need to have really bright under eyes. If I need to, I will go under with a powder. I like having my concealer pretty much the same shade as my foundation. It's a look. There's some people that can pull it off. Just for my face, I don't like a really bright under concealer. I like to go in with a brightening powder if I choose to have that. So that's just a reason why I do that. All right, next I'm going to go in for contour. This is the Catrice Triangle Contour Stick. I can tell you right now, I did not like this. This blends away to almost nothing. You can see how dark it is, but I will end up blending to nothing. And then you have to keep adding more, and then it starts to get gummy, which is nasty. Now, as you can see how much I added, and you can barely see this product. So I'm going to add a little more. Trying not to get it where it's gummy, but I want you to kind of see this product. So I would see you blowing through this really fast with the results of a lower end. So I think that you get your money's worth going for a different brand on this. I don't like it. If you want to go for a drugstore option, the NYX one is good for the drugstore, but I would go for the Makeup by Mario one. Yes, it's pricier, but that thing really lasts. You only need the littlest bit, so you really get your money's worth on that. All right, and the other thing I don't like is that if you sit there and look, all the product is on the side. Every time you use it, you have to wipe it completely off and then put it back in the packaging, and then sometimes it still gets nasty. You could see this. I used it for the first time, and then my husband saw me using this, and he's like, oh my God. And he's like, I've never seen you keep your makeup so messy. I was like, this is my first time using this, so I don't like how messy it is. And that's wasted product. So I'm using my brush, scraping it off, putting it on my face, trying to get my money's worth for it, because I don't want to waste. All right. So all my cream products I'm going to use are done. Now I'm going to go in with the setting spray by Catrice. This is Oil Control Matte Fixing Spray. They say it's still hydrating, and it has pore minimizing Ever Matte to it. And it's supposed to be 16-hour long lasting. So I'm going to spray. Now I'm going to use my fan. hit my nose on that one. All right, and then when it's dry, you just want to blend it in. So you want to push the product into your face. And this really helps your makeup last doing this. When I put it on top of powder, for some reason, it doesn't agree with my skin. My makeup does not look as nice at the end of the day. So if you're having the same issue as me, try that little trick. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and make a pile of all my yeses and nos, so at the end of the video I'll be able to run through quick of my yeses and nos. So no on the contour stick, yes on the setting spray, yes on the foundation. Alright, now I had a wonderful question by one of my followers, and she asked why I contour. Now if you want to give your face some shape to it, that's why you do it. So you can chisel out your face, you can put it where you like. I like putting it over above my cheeks, right over here. I like to put it on my temples, and then I like to put it on top of my forehead right over here, and then I put it underneath my chin, so it makes it look like I don't have a double chin. I put it around my lips because that was a secret that I learned from Scott Barnes. He did that, and I'm guessing it's because it makes smaller lips look bigger, so that's why I'm assuming that he did that. I'm not sure, but I liked his trick. I respect him as a makeup artist, so I kind of picked up that trick from him. And I do the sides of my nose to make my nose look a little smaller. So that's just why that you use contour. So, and highlight, it's going to bring forth your face, so it's going to amplify where you put it, so it's going to make your cheekbones look bigger. That's the reason why you use highlighter on certain areas. Alright, so it brings life to your face. You can change your face, you can contour, you can bring light to where you need to, so that's why I use the products the way I do. If you have more questions, make sure you put it down below. Alright, so that is all dry. Now I'm going to go in for the setting powder. And this is going to be the Mineral Loose Powder. It's True Skin by Catrice. I'll go ahead and show you that. It's going to be transparent. I didn't see colors, so that's what I got. Has a nice lock lid so the powder doesn't run out everywhere. Grab the powder brush by Catrice. Now I lightly put powder on my eyes, set my eye primer, set my concealer. I don't add a lot because I don't want to show my lines, but I want to set everything. I just grab a little at a time so I don't add too much. Right, let you take a look. I really like how this powder performed. I would definitely rebuy this powder. The only thing I wish is that it was in shade selections. So if it had vanilla, if it had deeper shades to it, because I think the transparent can look chalky on some people. So I would definitely rebuy that. These brushes are very nice. I think they add the product on really well. This is the cream one with a divot in the middle. This is the powder. It does not have the divot, so that's how you can tell the difference between the powder and the cream. The only thing about this is I usually use bar soap to clean my brushes. I've cleaned this 5 times so far. The only thing is I've had to use my Dawn soap to clean these, the liquid one, because in this divot it really holds on to the product really well. So that was the only way I could get this clean, but it came out clean eventually. I just had to use the Dawn instead of bar soap. Bar soap didn't work for this brush. All right. Now I'm going to go in for eyeshadows. The brush I use to apply these are not going to be Catrice brushes. I didn't see any, so I'm going to just go with the ones I always use. And this palette is going to be the Pro Slim Eyeshadow by Catrice, and it's the Peach Origin. Let you look at the shades. Now with this color story, I wouldn't say this screams, if you wouldn't have told me this was a peach palette, I would have never guessed it. It has very, very light colors that will blend away to nothing. I think they could have did a better job on that. They have a blue here, which I don't understand. And I think they have one peach shade and one misty rose. I wouldn't have picked this for the color story that they did. Like I said, most of these colors, I'm very light and they blend away to nothing on me. So I don't get why they didn't choose some different colors. So this is something I would not rebuy. I would revisit some different palettes because I looked at the other reviews and it seems like the other palettes did a lot better on their color story. This just blends away to nothing. That's why I ran to Ulta to try to see if I could get another palette, but they don't carry Catrice in my Ulta anymore. So we're just gonna go with what we have. So I'm gonna go with Nature All Over. And that's gonna be right over here. Build this up. Does take a lot of blending, and like I said, I'm very fair skinned, so anybody darker than me, I think that it won't show up on you. All right, so let me go in with the, I got setting powder all over my shirt. All right, so I'm gonna go for the outer crease, and I'm gonna go for a mix of umber and cedar. So these two over here. When I'm done blending, I will let you know what I think of the shadows. Just want to get a nice eye look going on. I'm going to go with my glitter glue. It is not by Catrice, it's by NYX. It's one I always use. Wipe the excess off. right, so with the metallic shades, I would go with your finger. With the brush, you can blend it out and then top it off with your finger again, because the most results you're going to get from this is your finger. You probably could get it with a brush, but you're going to really have to dig into it. I'm going to go for bronze. Okay, now I'm going to pick some up and I'm just going to blend it out. Some more. Right, brush the excess off. Now I'm going to go in, dip again, and I'm going to do a halo eye because I love how that looks. Just add a little more of the primer, the glitter primer. Okay, let's go for Eccentric. Has like a marbling to it. It's really pretty. Add that in the middle. Dip into that. Let's blend it out to the other shades. I notice when I'm editing, I use my middle finger to apply a lot of products. I swear I'm not flicking you off. It's just natural. Whenever I do my makeup, I seem to use that finger. So if I offended you, I apologize. I'm trying not to use it, but it's my go-to finger. So I'm just blending this all out to make sure it looks nice. All right, for right now, I really like how that looks, so I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, so talking about this, even though I don't like the color story, if you build this up, I can tell that I would definitely buy a different palette from them because I like how their eyeshadows work. Are they Viseart quality? No. They're not Natasha Denona, they're not Pat McGrath, but for drugstore eyeshadows and for the price, they blend very well. The thing I love the most is the metallic shades. If you use your finger, they are absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to do a few swatches of it so you can see them. Now I'm going to use the bronze one that I did. I'm going to do that on top. And then right below it, Eccentric. Just getting it on there so you can see it. Right below that, I'm going to go with Graceful. So I will show you that. They are gorgeous. And for the price, I'm really happy with it. I'm definitely going to buy a different palette. I wish I would have did that, not buy the peach palette, so don't buy that one. Buy one of their other palettes. All right. So wipe that all off. Now we're going to go on to eyeliner. This is the Glam and Doll Easy Wash Off. I did not find it wash off any easier than other eyeliner, but it stayed put, which I like. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. It's ultra black. All right, so it's a brush tip, not a felt tip. I usually like a felt tip, but this was a very nice one if you prefer a brush tip. All right, let's do brows. You know what, I'm gonna do mascara and then, because I have to do a second coat and that will give it time to dry. So I'm working on these brows. So before I put this on, this is the Glam & Doll Easy Wash Off Volumizing Mascara for Power Hold. Show that to you. This I was not impressed with. It did not wash any easier off than my other mascara. I do two different, I can't speak, gotta love this segment, but they did not wash off any easier. I do 2 coats. I use this and No Matter What, my Thrive mascara, to encase it to make it last all day. But this gives a very natural lash. So if you like a one swoop and natural, like it's your lashes, you like this. I don't like a super natural lash. My Thrive mascara had to do a lot of work to make this look good, and I don't want my second coat to have to work that hard. So I like a mascara that gives me volume, and this did not do it. Mascara is very objective though. One person will love it and one person will hate the same exact brand. That has happened to me with people recommending mascara and then I try it and I don't like it. And this brush is a plastic brush and it's very pokey. It's another thing I don't like. It does not feel good putting it on. So I'm going to let you see that. See, I'm not impressed with that. Not at all. Alright, now we're going to go for brows. This is the Clean ID Pure Eye Pencil. It's supposed to be 100% natural ingredients. It's supposed to be waterproof, vegan, and I got the color blonde. Pick up a mirror to do this. Thank God my eyebrows are finally growing back. I got too happy with one of those face shavers things in the middle of my eyebrows. I was not happy with what I did. Okay, now I'm going to use the spoolie. Get my Q-tip, not by Catrice. Alright, so I like how that looks. I really like this eyebrow pencil. It's going to be a softer pencil, so it's not going to be extremely waxy. But the color is perfect for my eyebrows. It goes on. I have not had a problem. I will definitely repurchase this because this was really cheap for an eyebrow pencil and it does an amazing job. So I'm really happy with it. I think there's a lot of good ones out there. You just have to find the one that is the right color for your eyebrow and the right consistency. I don't mind if it being too soft or being waxing a little bit harder, as long as it doesn't get too hard where it pulls my eyebrow hairs out. That's what I don't like, but there's a lot of good ones out in the drugstore. I don't think you should ever have to pay for a high-end one if you don't want to. If you want to treat yourself, why not? But there's a lot of good drugstore ones, and that is one of them. All right, let me go ahead and do my second coat. This is the Thrive Mascara. This is how I encase my eyelashes so they stay put. All right. Grab another thing. It's not by Catrice. This is the Brow Glue by NYX. I love it a lot. I used to like the Anastasia Brow Freeze, but I've been using this a lot more. Make sure you wipe the excess off. Just love what it does for the brows. Right. Dropped something. Now we're gonna go for blush and highlighter. You know what? Before I do brush, get this. This is the thing that is first impressions. I did not like how that contour stick worked, so I ran to the Ultra store and this is what I got. This is the Catrice Sungasm. This is the only bronzer that they had, or contour. So I decided to get that. I'll go ahead and show you. This is a first impression. I usually don't like illuminating bronzers, but they didn't have a matte one available. So I'm gonna get that. Hopefully this does better than that contour stick. This brush is not by Catrice. It's by Real Techniques. Now I'm going to get the blush. This is the Catrice Cheek Lover, and it's supposed to be oil infused. I did not feel the oil infused on this. It feels just like a powder. And this is Blooming Hibiscus. Another thing I usually don't do sheen on is blush. I don't mind it, but I prefer matte. So the thing that I would like about this is being a blush topper. It gives a pretty sheen, and I think that's what this is best for. Because the color it gives you is absolutely gorgeous. I got so many compliments on my skin when I use this blush. All right, so I'm going to use the highlighter. This is the Catrice More Than a Glow highlighter, and it's Supreme Rose Beam. So I'm going to go open that up. So this is what it looks like, the packaging, and then when you open it up, and I absolutely love this highlighter. This highlighter is amazing. This is another thing, I got a lot of compliments. I really like that bronzer. That is a really pretty shade. Looking at my skin, I'm really happy I went to the Ultra store and got this. This is gorgeous. The shade on the skin is really pretty. I'm glad. Now that trip was worth it. Alright, so I'm going to go back for some more translucent powder just to blend everything. You want to make sure everything looks seamless. Make sure I close my cap. Get the excess off. And we're just blending it to the skin. I usually press it in with my Tati blender. That is not drugstore, so I'm going to not use that. Alright, so that is all blended. And the powder brush was by Real Techniques, not Catrice. Put my brushes away. This goes into the yes pile. Alright, now we're doing lips. This is the Catrice Powerful 5, and it's a glossy lip oil, and I just dropped it. Butterfingers. Alright, so this has almond oil, jojoba oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. This feels really good on the lips. It is a thicker gloss, so one good thing about that is it stays put. It's not extremely tacky, but it feels really nice. So it doesn't just disappear on you. I still have foundation on my lips, so I'm gonna wipe that off. I know some people like that look. I'm not a fan of it. I'll let you take a look at the color that gives. I have the clear one, and then I have one that has a brighter pink to it. So when I saw the clear one at Ulta, I picked this one up as well. That's how much I like the product. That one was just a little too pink for me for every day. So when I have a regular eye look and I don't want my lips to pop that much, that's why I got this one. So I would definitely repurchase this. I'm going to add a topper. This is not by Catrice, it's by Dominique Cosmetics, and this is Pink Lemonade. I just add a little bit. And that just keeps my lips moisturized all day, and it's going to stay put because it's thicker. So that's what's amazing about this. All right. Seeing if I'm all done. All right, so I'm going to tell you what I would repurchase and what I would not. Move my thing to the side. Go ahead and take my hair down and let you look at my makeup. I'm really stoked with most of these products. Catrice is an awesome drugstore brand. So I'm gonna let you look. Hopefully you can see all that. Let me check how crazy I look with my hair down. Sometimes when you release your fine hair, you look like a hot mess. All right. I'm going to start off with the No because there's not that much of them. The mascara, I did not like. I would not repurchase. I would steer so far away from this contour stick. I did not like it at all. It took a lot to even show up on your skin. It is extremely messy. If you add too much, your skin can get muddy, which is bad. Will ruin your makeup. So those two, absolutely not. Now, the thing is, I would buy more of these palettes. I would not get this shade, the Peach Origin, but there are many other shades in this one. Make sure it's the Pro line. Catrice has other eyeshadows and they're not good. They're chalky, the ones I've tried. They did really good with the Pro selection. Just don't get the peach shade. Get a different color story. So that will be a yes, just not in that shade. All right, so all the yeses, and I'm surprised I have this much. I'm going to grab them all so I can just go through. If you need good drugstore brushes, this is really good. It's just a pain to clean. So if you don't mind using dish soap and putting a little extra elbow grease into it, it is very nice. It blends nicely. So this is the triangle brush by Catrice. This is the cream one. I would definitely get that again if I had to use a drugstore brush. This is the powder one. I would definitely rebuy that. The highlighter, I will not be without. I want to only put this on my skin now. This is absolutely gorgeous and you can't beat the price. I'm not even joking. I was taking somebody's order and they complimented my skin. What do you use? And I told them and they went over, no, can you please stop taking my order? Can you tell me and write down what you're using on your cheeks because I can't stop staring at them. That's what this lady did. So I stopped taking her order and I had to tell her what brand, what shade and everything I was using. And she was that blown away by my skin. All right, the setting powder is very nice. I would definitely repurchase this. I just wish they would have a shade selection, so just not transparent. I didn't see one. I have to go on their site and check it out. The setting spray was an amazing setting spray. It kept my makeup in place. That's what I have to ask for a setting spray. The blush is excellent. I would definitely rebuy this. I would use it as a blush topper. I think that is the best use for it. The lip oil, I liked it so much, I got another one. That says a lot. So this is really cheap. It has really good ingredients in it. It's thicker. It's not going to go anywhere. The foundation, that's what got me to jump in this line. I was so impressed by this foundation. That's why I wanted to dip my toe in and try other products for them. That's how amazing this was. Absolutely love it. This is a really good concealer. It is not super high coverage, it's about medium. You can build it up, but I would stick with medium, but amazing coverage. Doesn't crease underneath, wonderful. The eyeliner, if you like a brush eyeliner, I could see myself rebuying this because this is very nice. I want to see how the brush hairs last because sometimes if it is a little older, they fray out and they mess up your look. But so far, I'm really happy with this. It is not easy wash off though. The Sungasm Luminizing Bronzer. I absolutely love this. This gave a pretty tone to my light skin. A lot of times bronzers can be too orangey, too red. This looked gorgeous. I'm so glad I did my Ultra run to get this. The Clean ID Instant Bright. I didn't see very much brightness to it, but my makeup did last really long when I used this. So this is a very good cheap alternative if you don't have a primer. I have a primer right now that I love. It's going to be the Nemia brand. I'm using that every single day. I can't stop using it. But if I had to pick a drugstore primer, this is one I would definitely get. So this is good. If I ever run out of a product and I saw that on the shelf, I would definitely rebuy that. All right, so I made it to the end of the video. If you stuck around through all my little hiccups, I do have a few things where I get tongue-tied. It's just part of my personality. It goes on in my head, and then as soon as it comes out of my mouth, I'm like, well, that wasn't what I was trying to say. So thank you for sticking around through my little hiccups. I'm gonna grab my co-star. Sugar Bear, come here. Come here. For everybody that made it so long, their treat is they get to see you. I know you don't like to be picked up. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye, guys.